go to the gym, but I had one question that I wanted to ask. And one thing I've noticed about like going to these specific events is that men don't approach women like they used to. Like I'll see men kind of in their own conglomerate with each other and then women in their own conglomerate with each other, but I don't see the mesh. And sometimes I do, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, I'm not really seeing it. And I've been hearing a lot of discourse, even within like my girlfriends, that like they are not getting that experience of a man approaching them, and but they'll stare. And I will go to these events, and I know I look good. Um, I don't know if I look intimidating, but they'll just stare at you the whole time, but they won't speak to you. And I just want to know from like a man's perspective, is there a reason why you guys just have decided to like not talk to women in these spaces that is kind of curated for, conversation? And if any woman is also experiencing this as well too, because I just don't understand like what the gap is or what the gap has been recently.
Ladies, are grown men asking y'all for y'all Instagram? I mean, because I really want to know why men don't approach women anymore. I just need to know this. Now, I'm a married woman, so this doesn't apply to me, but I'm sure the single women want to know. Whenever I do go out into an Atlanta social scene, which is rare, it's always usually this scenario. Men with their friend groups on one side, women with their friend groups on one side entertaining each other. Now, mind you, Atlanta is filled with attractive women. So usually when you go into these settings, there are attractive women everywhere. But the men do not be bothered by these women. It's almost as if the women don't even exist. When I was coming up and you were going to the club, men were on your body. Like, they stayed in your face. They stayed hollering at you, trying to dance, talk to you, whatever. But what's happening in the climate today where men do not talk to women?
Ladies, let me tell you the real reason why men aren't approaching you. I hear it all the time. My clients ask me, women DM me. I hear it in my personal life. Men just don't approach. I'm at the grocery store. I'm at the coffee shop. I'm sitting at the bar at a trendy, swanky hotel bar. All the places where I've been told to meet high caliber men, and they just don't approach me. Look, men don't approach you because you're not approachable. Because your energy, your demeanor is repelling men. Because trust me, men are approaching, just not you. Because men, we see you at the bar, that skin is all glistening from that shea butter, and you got the yellow sundress on, and you sprayed on that Tom Ford bitter peach, smelling all delectable, and make a brother want to bite that peach. Sorry. Look, there's only one way to fix this. If you want men to approach you, you need to smile. No, I'm not saying that you have to walk around cheesing with a Kool-Aid grin on your face, but smiling means pleasant, and pleasant means approachable. So when you do have a man that you find attractive in your vicinity, and you have a demeanor that's warm, that's inviting, that's welcoming, that's open, he will be more than obliged to come and introduce himself. Because feminine energy is all about being open. And when men see you and you have a demeanor that says, don't talk to me, don't be upset when men do just that.
Oh, I'm back. I just been on vacation and on PTO, but I'm about to call y'all out. I'm about to call y'all out on something. Y'all remember when I made that man versus bear? And the girls were so upset when I said that y'all could be trapped in the woods with the bear and you got a better chance of the bear trying to holler at you, and that when you go out, men don't be trying to talk to you. You remember how all of y'all was stitching me and telling me about how y'all get dudes, and how dare I question that dudes be coming up to you and trying to holler at you and shooting they shot at you. Yet there's a video going around right now that's going viral about a pretty girl who talking about how she don't get hollered at when she go out. How dudes don't try to talk to her. And then you got multiple pretty girls stitching the video and talking about how dudes don't approach them either when they go out. But I was lying. Though, right? When y'all was making all them videos, I hope y'all still got it on y'all page where y'all was making all of these responses to me and telling you about how all these dudes be beating your door down to harass you every time you go out. Yet, y'all online now complaining because dudes don't, in actuality, be bothering you when you go out. Yet you do sometimes be wanting dudes to say something to you when you be out, but they don't. Right? That's the reason why I say the stuff I do about y'all. That's the reason why I go on PTO and I take breaks from this app. Because y'all just be saying anything, right? You just be wanting to be mad. Because the stuff don't be a lie. The stuff be the truth that you don't want to face. When I said that the dudes don't be bothering you when you go out, I wasn't implying that y'all wasn't attractive girls. I wasn't implying it was because you was not cute. I was telling the truth. Most of y'all are not getting harassed when you go outside. You're not even getting asked for your number. And it don't got nothing to do with your looks or anything else. The dudes just ain't doing it no more. And can you really blame them? All y'all do is get online and bash men 24/7 and talk about how horrible they are, and then turn around and wonder why don't nobody want to say nothing to you when you be out. Be for real.
I don't know what man needs to answer this question, but how come when y'all see a woman and you see that she's not in the mood to speak to anybody, that's the best time y'all think to pursue her? If I don't look like I want to be spoken to, why are you telling me to put a smile on my face? Want me to be walking around like this?
Women are starting to ask the question, why don't men approach anymore? What? Because you become unapproachable. You become so entitled, so rude, so you think you're better than men. You think a man needs to come out and prove something to you when it's you that needs to be proving to him that you're wife ready.
For 40 years, women have told men to leave them alone. Don't approach me, you creep, they would all say. And it turns out if you keep telling men to stay away from you, they will. Modern women are going on TikTok to whine about men not approaching them. Back in the day, it was simple. A guy saw a pretty woman, walked up to her and said hi. Of course, women called that predatory and patriarchy, and now everything's messed up. Men not approaching women anymore.
Men haven't stopped approaching women because they're suddenly scared. They stopped because the math just doesn't make sense anymore. I hear girls complain all the time, asking, where did all the good men go? Why won't they make a move? And I look at them and think, really? You're seriously asking that? Look at the brutal environment we created for them. The margin for error is absolute zero. If a normal guy goes up to a girl in a coffee shop and he is just a little bit socially awkward, he is not considered clumsy. He is instantly labelled a creep, or even worse, an actual threat. Why would any logical, smart guy risk ending up on a viral video just for saying hello? There is absolutely no benefit of the doubt left in modern dating. We treat everyday guys like they are guilty until proven innocent. So instead of playing a rigged game where the punishment for failure is getting your entire reputation destroyed, men are simply checking out. They put their headphones in, focus on their money, and walk right past us. They aren't terrified, they just respect themselves. You can't punish men for trying, then act shocked when they walk away.
The difference is with men, is we're supposed to be the leaders. We gotta put you guys in your fucking place. Because women don't know how to behave, you guys are out of control. Honestly, and that's a big reason actually, that went to my topic. Women aren't getting approached anymore. And you guys wonder why? Because you guys are fucking rude. And women don't respect men anymore. That's what it really is. That's why so many guys don't go up to y'all no more, because like, damn, she's probably gonna fucking talk shit to me. Or damn, she's gonna reject me rudely. Or damn, she's gonna say, get out of my face or some shit like that. Like, the real question is, are women worthy of approaching anymore? I would argue most of you guys aren't.
Also, let's say they get past the first initial introduction and they meet you and you're rude to them, they'll smash you and then leave right away.
And then women wonder why all of you guys are overwhelmingly fucking single. You guys don't know how to behave.
Yeah, they're gonna leave for sure.
Death of the real game. Like, back then, you actually had to go up to someone and speak to them, and you'd swap numbers on a bit of paper.
Always go to the bar staff. So have you got pen and paper?
Yeah.
They knew exactly what you were doing.
Excuse me, sorry. Now, a guy will stare at you across the room, won't say a word to you, and will just slide into your DMs later on that night.
Yeah, exactly.
Girls are so annoyed by the fact that guys don't come up to them. That like exactly what you guys are saying. They're like, it's so annoying. What's happened with the culture where like guys don't walk up to you and say something?
But would it be different if a girl kept smiling at you and you're like, oh, okay, like you could tell she's interested?
Yeah, if I felt like I had it, if I had it in, then, you know, maybe you'd be more confident going up and speaking to him.
Yeah, like if I made eye contact a few times and I can see there's a vibe there, then it's like, okay. But if I can't establish there's a little something beforehand, it's like, oh, it's a little...
Yeah, because I think that's when the girls get more pissed, because they're like, we were making eye contact all night at a bar, and then he just like never came over, and then we left.
That's fair.
86% of women say they want a man to make the first move. 76% of men say that they are terrified of making the first move for fear of being seen as creepy. 20% of Gen Z say that a man approaching a woman in public always or usually constitutes harassment. Square that circle. 86% of women want a man to make the first move. 76% of men are terrified of making the first move. So what that means is guys know if they don't make the first move, nothing's going to happen. But that if they do make the first move, they're going to maybe be seen as creepy and they're terrified of being Me Too'd. Women know that they want a man to make the first move, but if they, like, they're only 14% of them are actually going to go out and do it on their behalf. So women cultivating receptiveness, I think, is a good way to do this.
Those toxic things about women that I really don't understand. You dress provocatively on purpose. Let's just call it what it is. You don't go to the gym with those tight ass, pink Lululemons on, where you could see your entire contour of your ass, and then you got that tight bra on, your tits are out. You can't tell me that you're not wearing that on purpose. Or when you go out at night and you have a short skirt on, or like you're showing skin, you're doing that on purpose. So the fact that women dress provocatively but then complain or have backlash when guys look at them, or it makes no sense. But again, all of this contributes to why men just gave up on approaching, because there's that risk that, like, you're gonna get put on blast, flipped out on, she's gonna go running to the bouncer, or like you just get embarrassed,
If you're a girl and you never get approached by dudes in public anymore, you are not alone. This is truthfully a common occurrence across the board. Dudes, flat out, simply are just not approaching women in person anymore. As a matter of fact, not even just for in-person interactions of going up to a woman and saying, hey, can I get your number? Also, even when it comes to dating apps, even when it comes to Instagram DMs, it's actually kind of just dead across the board when it comes to men pursuing women. And this is a huge, huge problem that society does not look at enough, because if we don't have men pursuing women anymore, if we don't have relationships that can be long lasting, if we don't have families built, then over a long enough period of time, how do you have a society when no more families exist? You don't have a society anymore. Society collapses, and it all starts with men pursuing women, and it's a huge problem. But also, don't feel like you are alone and sitting there wondering, like, why am I never getting approached in public, or at all for that matter. It's not you, it's the simple fact that men do not pursue women at all anymore. They've just given up.
I was having a conversation with one of my girlfriends the other day, and she was telling me how she has a male friend who she's interested in romantically. And I said, have you said anything to him? And she was like, no. And I said, why not? And she said, well, he should get my hints. And I said, hints? What hints? She's like, I mean, the way I act around him and all this stuff. And I was like, the way you act around him? Like, what do you mean? And she's like, he should see that I like him. And I was just like, so why don't you just tell him that you like him? And she's like, well, I don't do that. I don't chase men. And I was like, like chasing men and letting a man know that you're interested in him are two different things. Chasing a man is once he knows that you like him and he's still not giving you any type of time of day or whatever. He kind of has you just kind of lingering over here. Letting a man know, and I don't necessarily mean like, hey, I like you, but giving him some subtle hints at least to let him know that you like him is two totally different things. And I was like, so how do you think he's going to know that you like him if you never say anything? She's like, well, he's gonna have to figure it out. And I had to tell her, like, in this day and time, men are not approaching women, which is really weird to me. But I had to sit back and think, like, why aren't men approaching women? And I've come up with the thought of maybe it has to do with COVID and the Me Too movement. COVID, we were in the house for a year and a half by ourselves. And so we've just kind of learned how to, one, be by ourselves. And two, the Me Too movement, let me tell you something. If you talk or get with the wrong woman, they can ruin your whole life. I mean, Just look at Shannon Sharp. He just lost his job at ESPN because he wanted some little young OnlyFans model who he was in a relationship with, but then turned around and said, oh yeah, you sexually assaulted me, you raped me, you know, the R word and all these other things. And it's just like, what? So yeah, men, I think, gentlemen, if I'm wrong, let me know. But this is just my thought process, that men are just kind of like, just being cautious. Like, yeah, I'm not approaching women because, also in the day of social media, women will do dumb things like post it on social media and be like, oh, look at this guy, he tried to talk to me, oh, he's weird, you know. So it's like, I think men are just like, you know, I'm good. Like, if you're interested, let me know. But other than that, I'm just going to keep it moving. That's how I perceive it. And honestly, if I was a man, that's probably how I would perceive it too. Because, like I said, you know, women would be like, oh, he sexually assaulted me. Blanche, all he did was touch your elbow. You know, now everything is creepy. Everything is a sexual assault. Everything is unwanted attention. You know, men would usually be like, hi, how you doing? Smile. Oh, you look good today. Now women are like, what do you mean? Why are you smiling at me? What do you mean I look good today? Everything is taken so out of context. So yeah, if I was a man, I wouldn't say anything to women. I'm going to keep it moving. Unless you stop me and be like, hey, I like you. I'd be like, all right. Keep it moving. So fellas, let me know, am I off? Am I putting too much thought into this? Like I said, it was just my thought, because I was just trying to figure out like what has happened over the past few years, because before I could go anywhere. I could be at the gas station, the grocery store, walking down the street, and men would be like, they would stop me, hey, I find you attractive, can I get your number, whatever. I get stares. They looking at me, I'm looking at him. They looking at me, I'm looking at him. And we looking like, are we gonna say anything? So yeah, that's my thought process. Let me know. What is the reason? What is the reason? What is the reason?